did change me in many ways. It's like, where am I from? You know, I go back to El Salvador and people see me as la gringa. And I'm here and I'm seen as a Salvadorian immigrant. So it's like I'm not from there nor here. It's sort of like in between.
Moving to America has changed my identity in many different ways, but the main thing that has changed me is that when I was in Nepal, I used to be really shy, and I used to be scared of telling people how I feel. But when I came here, slowly, now I actually tell people how I feel about them and how I feel, and I talk more.
The way in which it changed my identity, I don't know how much of it to contribute to being in the United States or just growing up as an individual, but I know that being here, I had opportunities that I wouldn't have had I stayed in Iran. Great educational opportunities, being able to be more independent as a female. So those things definitely, you know, shaped up my identity.
The biggest difference between Nepal and America is culture, people. In Nepal, we have different holidays and we have different people, and the people are really judgmental, and they believe that girls, they can't go to school and they have to marry when they're 15 or 16. I mean, that actually changing it right now, but it used to be like that. But here, you have more opportunities, and you have a good school, and women can do what a man can do, and also affect me this because I now I understand more. If I go back to my country, I could make some differences from what I have learned in here.
Freedom, because in my country, there's not there's freedom, you can do whatever you want, but you know, people people judge you so much because, and they have kind of old-fashioned thinking, they're kind of old-fashioned though.
So I think that's an easy thing for me because I just don't have one culture. I'm a mix of two cultures, Spain and Dominican Republic. So I come here, it's just another one. I just adapt here. I just try to keep my cultures, keep my way to be from my two different countries, and at the same time try to learn from the culture here.
I'm most likely to follow my country's culture because most people surround me are Ethiopian people.
If you're in this country, it's for a reason. Make sure that you embrace what you have in front of you. Take advantage of the opportunities. Make it the best. Embrace your own culture also. Don't forget your language. I mean, this country is made of immigrants. Every single person that came to this country came from somewhere. Yeah, some people are born here, which is great, but their families, their grandparents, great-grandparents, they came here. And so this is a country of many cultures, and so it's important to be yourself and not to lose that sort of root.
We all need human services. We're talking about childcare. We're talking about child welfare, physical and mental health. We're talking about immigration. We're talking about homelessness. We're talking about the spectrum of people's basic needs from womb to tomb. Without human services, we wouldn't be able to claim to be human. We wouldn't be able to claim to be the caring society we tell people we are.
My name is Sarah Muller. I'm a community health nurse with the Little Sisters of the Assumption Family Health Service. Since moving to New Jersey, it takes me 2 hours to get to work in East Harlem. I drive to the bus, take the bus to the city, take a subway, and then another bus to get to the office. Commuting that long every day is exhausting, but I do it because I love my job. I work with LSA, and our focus is to work with the most vulnerable families. We provide services such as a food pantry and advocacy office, early childhood services, parenting classes and groups, and a home health agency, of which I work as a visiting nurse. On Monday mornings, a lot of the morning is just spent catching up and checking with patients. ¿Cómo está todo? Bien, ¿y el bebé? The biggest barrier right now is poverty. Just dire poverty.
There are a lot of poor neighborhoods throughout the country and throughout the city. East Harlem houses some of the poorest families in New York City. East Harlem residents have an unduly high rate of illness and mortality.
On average, I visit about 15 patients or so a week. I especially love visiting the children and families that I get to know and develop a relationship with. It's Sarah. Hey, Kayvon, how are you? Good. So tell me, since I've seen you last, you've started school. LSA uses a holistic approach when working with any of our families. So often when we come in with an agenda, something that we want to work with, the family is dealing with other issues that take more precedent, such as having food or housing. For example, when working with a family like Kayvon, who has asthma, I will go in to work on medications, but if he's breathing air that's unclean, my education only goes so far. So I'm working with our environmental program, who are going in, working with the triggers for asthma, which are cockroaches, the mold, the mice.
I'm telling you, I wish asthma on nobody. Yep, person that don't have it, God bless them.
Both of them had been in the emergency room almost monthly, but until our services came in and deal with a holistic approach to the asthma, neither of them have been into the hospital. And so our home visits are much cheaper than an ER visit or hospitalization.
Okay.
Keep them out of the hospital. It's working so far, so
yes.
I'm really happy to hear that.
Yes, I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
And thank you so much.
Building trust is essential to making any progress for the family. Sometimes I feel like I'm able to gain a trust by the end of an hour visit. Other times it takes persistence and just the family knowing that I'm here for them. Well, baby Joseph and his parents, Kayla and Danny, were referred to us after Joseph was born with a cleft palate and micronathia, a very small jaw. He had surgery after being born to pull out his jaw, but we were asked to go in just
first of its kind, according to the decision. First of its kind, according to the decision, police officers cannot hold people for their immigration status. Well, the decision comes from a Massachusetts case where a man was arrested for a robbery and then dismissed, but was being held because of a federal civil immigration detainer. Western Mass News reporter Samara Abramson joins us live in the studio to tell us what the American Civil Liberties Union has to say about that. Samara?
Well, Beth, this decision basically means that Massachusetts court officers cannot arrest or hold someone solely because of an immigration detainer. Many are calling this decision a victory, but it leaves the door open for legislature to change the law.
These are the strange situation that we are no country accepting as a national.
Srenon Lun was born in a Thai refugee camp to Cambodian parents. Both countries say he isn't a citizen. Lun was in state custody on an unarmed robbery charge. That charge was dismissed back in February. But he was held by Boston court officers until an immigration officer took him into federal custody.
To what extent can we and should we be part of this deportation machine at the local level?
The American Civil Liberties Union held a press call today after the Supreme Court ruled that state court officers don't have the authority to detain people suspected of being in the U.S. illegally, if that person is not facing criminal charges.
In this politically charged atmosphere, when the Trump administration is trying to coerce cities, states into doing more and more of ICE's work for them, the court went back to the basics and just asked, what does our law actually allow us to do in Massachusetts?
Today's ruling clarifies this applies to all law enforcement, not just court officers.
It applies to anybody with arrest authority. So that could be police, that could be sheriff's agents, that could be, district attorneys,
No Massachusetts state or local law enforcement officer can detain a person based solely on a federal request known as an ICE detainer. It means if this person is in state or local custody and they're set to be released, neither a court nor anybody else can extend that detention based just on an ICE detainer. Attorney General Maura Healey speaking out on Twitter, writing, "This decision is a rejection of anti-immigrant policies and allows local law enforcement to focus their resources on keeping people safe." The ACLU calls this decision the first of its kind in the nation.
Now, the state of Massachusetts receives hundreds of detainer requests each year, but it's not clear how many are being honored. Local immigration attorneys tell Western Mass News this is a complicated decision that's sure to spark conversation in the coming weeks. Reporting live in the studio for Western Mass News, I'm Samara Abramson.
Okay, peace be unto you. I'm Hassan Rashid, and this is another episode of your Human Service News and Information. I'll be here with you for a little while longer. Okay, we had some technical difficulties at the beginning of the program, which offset our broadcast a little bit, so we won't be here for the full 25 minutes. It's excellent being here with you. It's such a great achievement to come into lives like we do here daily at CCTV. And with that, I extend the cordial universal cordial peace out to you. Peace be unto you. Okay, the good news is that the immigrants can't be detained in Massachusetts without a charge. We're gonna without being charged or something, you know, and but we're gonna try to get back to that. The opening video was all about that, and I had a little bit more information to share with you on the subject of immigrants no longer being able to being detained by law enforcement, whatever law enforcement that's out there, ICE, etc., etc. Okay, I'd like to just divert you a little bit, your attention a little bit to what I gotta say next, and that is you still have time to purchase tickets for a backlot barbecue at CCTV. That's the biggest thing that's coming up in September. That's on Thursday, September 14th, CCTV will hold its annual beloved backlot barbecue once again. Okay, this year's party benefits CCTV's youth media program get underway at 5:30 p.m. on Green Street behind CCTV studio at 438 Massachusetts Avenue in Central Square. And I want to tell you that you still have time to purchase your tickets if you haven't. So to purchase your tickets, you can contact Clodagh Drummy at 617-401-4005 or email Clodagh at cctvcambridge.org. That's Backlot Barbecue September 14th, and you still got time to purchase your tickets. Okay, I'm going to share some of the good news with you about the immigrants. They can't be detained any longer without being charged, okay? And you know, week before last, we presented some information, shared some information with you concerning the fact that if you are detained by police, know your rights. So if time permits, we're going to try to get into what some of your rights are if you are detained by police. But it's official now that the law enforcement officials can't detain you if you're an immigrant without charges, okay? The highest court in Massachusetts has ruled that state court officers don't have the authority to detain people suspected of being in the U.S. illegally if that person is not facing criminal charges. The Supreme Judicial Court, in a decision released Monday, said state law provides no authority for Massachusetts court officers to arrest and hold an individual solely on the basis of a federal civil immigration detainer. The decision relates to this case of Shrey Noon Lun. He was born to Cambodian parents and was in state custody on an unarmed robbery charge. After the charges was dismissed in February 6th, he was held by Boston court until an immigration officer took him into federal custody. Now he is free and living in Boston area. Lun was born in a Thai refugee camp to Cambodian parents. Both countries says he isn't a citizen. Okay, so getting back to what the decision came down from the Supreme Judicial Court in Massachusetts. It's a state law now. Provides no authority for Massachusetts courts to arrest and hold an individual solely on the basis of federal civil rights detainer. Okay, so that's real good news for all you folks out there that are immigrants. Okay, etc., etc. Okay, it's okay. We're gonna move on to this rally coming up. That's July 31st. It's entitled "Our Homes, Our Voices," and it's a rally for affordable homes. It's Our Homes, Our Voices. That's the theme of this rally. So you're invited to join residents, housing advocates, policymakers to rally in support of federal investments in affordable homes and our communities as part of the National Our Homes, Our Voice Week of Action. Speakers will include Mayor Martin J. Welch and Congressman Catherine Clark. They're invited to rally with them Monday, July 31st, 11:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. Sam Adams Park in front of Finno Hall. Okay, once again, that's Monday, July 31st, 11:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. Samuel Adams Park in front of Finno Hall. So bring signs, but no sticks allowed. Signs without sticks. That's what they're requesting you to bring. Okay, there's another thing. The budget came out, and a lot of the several of the items that were submitted to become bills that would help poor people and homeless people was vetoed by the president. Excuse me, by the governor. Governor Baker vetoed. So I'm going to share with you some information on how you can participate in reversing the vetoes of Governor Baker. Okay, why is the residential assistance for families in transitional homelessness prevention program so important? Okay, the update guidelines that include all households have been critical to meeting the needs of women we serve. So let me skip some of these paragraphs and get on down to the heart of this article. It says, what would overriding Governor Baker's RAF veto do? So overriding Governor Baker's veto would expand access to RAF to elders, people with disabilities, and unaccompanied youth, and other households without minor children, and increase RAF funding to $15 million in fiscal year 18, up from fiscal year 17 funding levels of $13 million, earmarked up to $2 million, allowing state agencies to serve up to an estimated 496 households who meet the expanded definition of households. What you can do now, this is important, what you can do. Please support and join the Massachusetts Coalition for the Homeless by urging your state representatives and senators to override Governor Baker's veto of the RAF expansion language and funding official year 18. So RAF is a budget, a program, an item in the budget that provides funding and other necessities for families, single women, single men, single homeless men, single homeless women, homeless families, etc. Okay, folks who are in need of basic necessities, and that's what this RAF bill will do, but the governor vetoed it for some reason. So once again, you're encouraged to contact your representatives and senators to override Governor Baker's veto of the RAF expansion language and funding, fiscal year 1817. So 18 fiscal year 18. Okay, so if you'd like additional information, you can go to TINUYURL, that's TINYURL.com/FY18 veto overrides. Okay, veto to override the Governor Baker's veto of RAF. Okay, okay. What's I got something else for you, but that's July 29th at the Main Public Library branch. There's going to be an event entitled Radicals of the 60s and Radicals of Today. Okay, and this event starts at 11:30 and they run to about 2:30 in the afternoon. So don't forget, that's July 29th. I think that's on a Saturday. And it's at the main public library in the lecture hall. And the title of the event will be Radicals of the 60s and of Today. Okay, so don't you miss that one. That's specially designed for all of you who like to insight into what radicalism was like in Cambridge during that time where they had big marches out in Harvard Square and the people were beaten and etc., protesting their rights, trying to secure the rights of the people. Okay, once again, that's July 29th, 11:30 to about 2:30 in the afternoon at the main library of Cambridge. Cambridge Public Library. That's 449 to be exact. It's 449 Broadway. Okay, it's just about that time again. Due to technical difficulties, we weren't able to share with you all of the information that we would have liked to. I have some information about the National Organization of Human Services 2017 National Conference, this October 18th to 22nd, 2017. So you'll be hearing more about that when time permits. And it's going to be held this year in Des Moines, Iowa. That's the Community Connections, Bridging the Gap between the community, academia, and the human service professions. That's just the theme of this year's 2017 National Organization of Human Service, and they do a lot for college folks at all levels of their education to help further their education in university and college. So that's not all they do, but if time permits, we're going to get into that in some future shows. But once again, before we leave you, I'd like to remind you that you still have tickets to time to purchase tickets to CCTV's Backlot Barbecue, bigger than ever this year. Food, better food, more entertainment, and more guests. Okay, I had a list of the guests, but right now, due to time, we can't share it. There's another video I wanted to try to close the program with. And okay, if we can get things going here, just hold on, tolerate me for a little bit longer. Okay, we're gonna see if we can get this video on for you. Okay, you know that I'm Hassan Rashid, and this is your Human Service News and Information broadcast. And unfortunately, wasn't able to share with you all the things that we would like to due to several technical difficulties. But until next time, I advise you keep your nose clean, play it straight, and don't forget to assist someone in need of your help. Okay, so until next time, I leave you once again with the universal cordial of peace, justice, goodwill, and sanity be unto you. Okay, peace.
Some people